Alright, hello everyone, it is silverkyle, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts and impressions on Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch. So, this isn't a full-blown review because I am nowhere near the end of this game. I'm so far away from being able to consider beating it. There is just so much into this game. Most of my friends are actually at over 100 hours. It's crazy to turn on the Nintendo Switch and see so many people playing the Switch at this point in time. Like, there's always a few people playing, but now I have the majority of my list is playing, and like 95% of them are playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. Considering the time that we're in, if you're in quarantine, this is arguably one of the best games to be dropped at this time. It's just such a huge time sink. I wish that there was a Harvest Moon game, right? I know that there's Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town that's coming out this summer, hopefully, for the Western audiences, and I can't wait for that. But I'm hoping that all of this love for Animal Crossing kind of goes into games like Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, because they're very similar, and I like those series more, but I'll talk to you about my experience with New Horizons. So, I ended up getting this game after launch because it took. I wanted the physical copy, and I had to wait until it actually came in through the mail. So it was late by, I think, a week or something like that. And by that, I really wanted to get this game on launch day because there was so much hype. And when there's that much hype, I either get turned off by a game because I'm like, no, there's too much stuff going on, and there's something about it that just makes me not want to get into that hype. And other times where I really want to thrive on that. And for Animal Crossing, there was so much hype before this, and once it launched, it was insane. Like, that entire weekend, I would have loved and killed to be able to play this game. But I didn't. I got it, I think, the following Wednesday, or the week after that on the Wednesday. I think it was just 1 week that it was delayed. Either way, got it on that Wednesday. I didn't have time to play it until a few days after that. Finally plugged it in and booted it up. Played about an hour, and I was like, why are people freaking out about Animal Crossing? This is, I dabbled a little bit in the DS one and the 3DS one, and I never really got it either back then. And then I played an hour of this, and I was like, why are people freaking out? So then I ended up talking to one of my friends, Kevin from Team Beardage, from live streams. We will probably be doing a live stream tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe closer to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So tomorrow, Monday, April 20th, is when we're going to be doing our first live stream in, I think, 4 years. It's where I have other people on. I think I did one live stream last year. But anyway, so he told me that I needed to give it a bit more time and to also play it online. So we ended up talking over Discord, playing it at the same time, and then we eventually opened up our islands and we could visit each other. He had been in the game by probably, 50 hours, 60 hours by that point, maybe even a bit higher, and I was in my first hour. But I ended up playing about 5 hours that night, and I finally started to get addicted and liking this game. It's such a hard game to describe to a newcomer because it's like, okay, you just go around, you live your life, you get a few bugs, you catch a few bugs, you go fishing, you pick up the debris that's on your island, you clean up the place, you buy a few items at the beginning, and then slowly you can start buying a house and paying it off. It's essentially a little bit like The Sims, but much more laid back, and it is also on real time. And I didn't think I really liked that. I kind of like that. I think I like the mix of having that in some games and other times not. In a game like Animal Crossing, I think it works really well. And so when it's nighttime, it's nighttime in the game. At past 7 o'clock, the sun goes down, and you can see the sunrise, the sunset. I'll never see the sunrise in this game. Actually, one of my one of my villagers called Plucky, by far my favorite villager that I've seen in my game so far. She came up to me. She's the best. She's so hilarious. She's so friendly. I love her. Anyway, she came up to me and she's like, I love how chill it is on this island. You can sleep until noon and no one will even notice. And that's because I am either at work or working at the time, so I'm actually not able to do anything, or I sleep in quite a bit, not necessarily till noon, although I have a few times in the past month, but I will sleep in and I won't turn the game on until afternoon. And the game, I felt insulted, like that was a personal attack on me. It was also very hilarious. I hope that was actually part of the game, that they realized that I'm never on before noon. in this game. Until recently, I started. I got in on today actually to get the turnips because I think you can't get them past noon, something like that. That's what I had heard. Either way, and then the turnip system. So there's a stock market in this game. So yeah, it's a very lax game. It's very and when you don't really know what to do, it is kind of you want direction. So having somebody tell you what you have to do, or seeing gameplay or walkthroughs of this, or let's plays, you can kind of start to grasp things on what you have to do. Either way, I think talking to Tom Nook, he's the main character that you would go to kind of say, what should I be doing now? And he kind of gives you an idea of what you should be trying to tackle. But you can kind of do anything that you want in this game. I have just a few villagers in my town. I have 2 new ones. So I have the original 2 that came there, and then 2 additional ones that have moved in. I'm working on getting the 5th one to come over. I have all the fruit. It's such a strange game. I'm trying to like kind of explain piece by piece, but I keep thinking of other things that you can do in this game. So it's a very hard game to describe, because the other thing too is that, so my first hour I was kind of like meh. After that, I really got hooked onto it. And then the next few hours that I've been playing it, I was really into it. I love when you open it up and you can play with other people, or you're talking to them online. And even though you're not on their island and they're not on yours, and you're doing your own thing, they're doing their own thing, it makes it so much more enjoyable for some reason, because you can keep talking about certain things. And do you know what to do for this? Do you know how to do that? How do I do this? I'm talking to people that are much more experienced than me at this point. So I'm always asking questions, but I've had some of them ask me questions and I actually knew the answer to, and I was like, go do this, go do that. And it just makes it that much more enjoyable. I think the social aspect of this game, even though you're not necessarily playing all the time together, really adds to it and makes it that much more of an enjoyable experience, because then you also go to their towns and you can see what they've done. And they're, because they're so much further than I am, I cannot wait to get to that point so that I can also do that. It motivates me to continue playing this game, because I want to create an island like theirs. And then there's times where we basically play tag. We'll end up I go to my brother's or his girlfriend's place and their town, and then we all kind of get together there, and then we'll all take out our nets and we'll start whacking each other and playing like almost a game of tag, and we run around this entire island and we use our poles to escape them. It's a blast, and it's little games that we're almost creating on our own. This game has so many little things that can kind of take off and create this massive thing, like the stock market for the turnips. You buy a certain amount of turnips, and then you keep them on Sunday, and then two times per day they'll change on your island, but they're also changing on everybody else's island, the price of what these turnips were. So you buy them for around 100 bells, so $100, and then they can go lower than that. So the lowest I've seen on mine is probably 42 bells, so you definitely don't sell there. But I've heard that they can be as high as like 600 or 700 bells or something like that, which is insanely high. The most I've sold them for was 146, because I don't have enough money to be able to. Because now what's happening is that people are making their islands open up to the public, that you can just join in, and you pay a fee to get in, and then you can pay or you can sell your turnips to these random strangers' islands for the really high prices, because they have it there. But I don't make enough money for me to even really pay that fee, or if I do, it wouldn't really be worth it, because I'm still a bum in this game. I'm starting to make a little bit more money, but I feel that because of that, people are figured out how to work this. And that's the other thing too, is they found an equation to try to figure out if your prices will go higher or lower, and to give you a rough idea of what you can actually sell your turnips throughout the week on your island, and what day would be the best to kind of do it. And if you're not going to have good prices this week, definitely talk to your friends, definitely look online, and they have all these charts and these things that I was talking about, and they have bouncers and things like that to kind of they make a path to where you would sell the turnips, and they'll be blocked off by a person until you actually pay the fee, so that then you don't just go in, sell your turnips for high profit, and then leave, and you don't even pay the fee. It's crazy how this is just like blown up completely. I do think that does take a little bit out of the game, though, the enjoyment of trying to figure it out with just your friends that you have. That's all that I've done. The most that I've seen is 146 with friends that I know of. Actually, it was on my island because everybody else was not doing well that week in terms of turnip prices. And they do expire after that week, so you can get the turnips every Sunday, and then they expire by the following Sunday. So if you haven't sold them by that point, you lost out on tons of money. Like my brother had $1.6 million worth of turnips at one point, and now he's like a millionaire, a multimillionaire. Although he keeps paying massive things for all the extensions, the upgrades that he has for his houses, the bridges and all that kind of stuff. So his is much more. He's by far a lot further than I am. I think he's at 130 hours, and I'm at 30 hours right now. But I'm very much enjoying this. I did not expect to love this game this much. Even when I was hyped for it before release date, and I wanted to play it on release date, I did not think that I would like it this much. But also in the same way, not the same. It's not what I expected either. I don't know really what I was expecting, but either way, Animal Crossing New Horizons. If you're a fan of sim type games, a little bit more laid back type of games, where you kind of just chill out, or farming simulations like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Stardew Valley, this would probably be up your alley. I mean, if you haven't tried it yet, I definitely recommend looking at videos of this and seeing if it's something that you'd like, because it's not going to be for everybody. I want to make that clear. It's not for everybody. There's sometimes where I only play like an hour during the day because I just kind of do the things that I need to do, and then I'm like, that's all I really I want to do, because I can't advance enough in this day until the next day, until the other things build. And you can also time travel with this game. Which I don't do. You can change the times on your Switch so that you can go get a bunch of turnips, make it go fast forward, sell the turnips for potentially a high price, go back in time, buy more turnips. I don't want to abuse that. I want to kind of take my time with this game. And same thing, you can say, okay, in 3 days your fruit will be replenished on your island, so you can grab them up again. So you could just keep doing that and make tons of money. Or if you're building something, you have to wait sometimes until the next day or later for it to be fully built. So if you want to hurry that up and speed up the process, you can time travel and just change the time, and then you'll be at that point. But I don't feel like doing that. That I really want to, and there's nothing wrong with it, because for the people that are doing that, that's how they're getting their enjoyment, and because that's how they get hundreds of hours also. But I want to take my time with this game and kind of just play it as Nintendo kind of intended it to be played. So, because then I think I also appreciate a lot more things, and it'll keep me on this game longer, I think, than if I did time travel, for me personally. So that's it. Animal Crossing, I strongly recommend it, but just be forewarned, if you're not into cutesy things like this, Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, that kind of thing, those are similar type games, and if you're not into those games, this probably won't be your thing either. Alright, thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Beardage!